I have had a lot of people tell me how crazy this journey is going to be. And then I got a few sprinkled in there that say that sounds amazing and you should do it. So I would love to be able to show them that follow your dreams and follow your passion, regardless of what anyone else thinks.
This podcast encourages and empowers you to create your own unique real story, develop your own unique real statement, and discover your own unique real self. The power is yours. Good afternoon, Vanessa Jackson. Previously, episode 547 of the 12-Minute Convos podcast. It's been just 2 years, 11 months, 29 days, 23 hours, and 45 minutes since we last had that recorded conversation.
I encourage everyone out there listening to find something that they want to achieve or something that they're passionate about and find a way to get it done.
That was then. This is now. Vanessa, how are you doing today?
I am doing very well. Thank you. I had no idea what all those specs that you just gave. That's interesting.
Yeah, well, you are a racer, and I guess that specifications are very important to you as well. Are you still doing that? Like, are you on the tracks riding the motorcycle?
I am, absolutely. Yes. Loving every minute of it.
Oh, that's amazing. Now, I'm so glad to reconnect with you. When we spoke, we covered so many things. I think one of the things that you were doing then was the social 30-day challenge. Well, the 5 pillars, right?
That is correct.
I needed to ask you with the 5 pillars because of the way you said it. So there was physical, nutritional, that's one.
Right.
Mental, spiritual, emotional. Is that one?
Spiritual is kind of like tossed in there with the others. So mental and emotional would be like 2 separate ones, and then emotional was spiritual.
So then we have financial.
Correct.
And then community. All right,
yes,
all right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So how's that evolved?
I had put it on pause for a little bit as I was actively pursuing it when we had last talked, because I ended up going into more of like website development and design and all of that stuff instead of being able to really do the coaching and the training that I so love to do. And I realized that that wasn't something that I was passionate about. So I was trying to figure out a way through it. And I stepped aside, and I have recently figured out, not that I didn't know how to outsource before, but I figured out a much better way to outsource that's going to work for me.
Right.
And I am back in and excited to take it by storm again.
That's wonderful. So what have you been doing over the last almost 3 years now?
Yeah, that is amazing that it's been so long. So I had bought my house 3 years ago, and I've been loving every minute of it. I have, of course, continued racing, and I'm actually getting ready to have a brand new journey. That is something that I did not expect, plan on, or anticipate. I am actually going to buy a Sprinter van, one of those Mercedes Sprinter vans,
Right.
and I'm going to customize it and load up my 2 bigger motorcycles and also my surfboard, my yoga mat, my road bike, and I'm going to hit the road, and I'm going to travel to as many different racetracks as I possibly can across the country.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Look at you. Well, wow. So we're talking about the US. You're keeping it contained to the US, right?
Correct. Yes.
How many tracks have you laid out? Are you not planning it like that? Are you going with the flow of this?
I'm doing a little bit of both. So I want to have an overall idea of what I would like to do, but then I'm going to let the road take me wherever it decides I should be.
Well, that's scary a bit, isn't it?
It's a little scary. It's a little exciting, very adventurous. I know that when I up and moved from Delaware to Florida, then to Utah, and then to California without a plan of action for any of those, everybody said, "Oh, you're crazy. Oh, I wish I could do that." And I said, "You can do that. Just do it." And they said, "Well, what about a job? What about friends? What about, family, people?" And I said, "You figure it out. You just figure it out. It all works out in the end." And that's kind of how I feel for this, is that I've made so many connections over the past 20 years, people all across the country, that, I would love to be able to like reach out to people along the way and be able to visit them and say hi and see how they're doing and get updated with them, as well as, doing what I am passionate about, which is visiting the racetracks and being able to get out on my motorcycles and try new tracks that I've never tried. And at the same time, to be able to build my business from the road. And this is all born out of an unfortunate circumstance and a necessity. So you never know where the next opportunity is going to come from.
You're amazing. I'm proud of you.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, it's something you said. It's about following through, doing the thing that you said you were going to do. And I think leading by example as well. I mean, back then, it's something you indicated you wanted to ensure that you were doing, and as well as mixed in there the value of giving. Now you're walking the talk. Well, you're riding the track, if you would.
That is so true. And I absolutely still follow all of those values in my life and try to pass them on to others as well.
Now, there's a child in the mix there, right? Like one daughter and four granddaughters. How are they being impacted by your journey and what you're going after?
Well, it's interesting that you say that because I just turned 53 and my daughter did an amazing thing. She videotaped all four of her daughters to say happy birthday, grandma, and to say one word that you think describes her and then why. And I would have never imagined the things that I heard back from them, but one of them had said brave. And brave because I ride motorcycles, and that if I put my mind to it, I know I can do it, and it can be dangerous, but I'm okay with doing that and making sure I do it safely. And I didn't use her exact words, but that was basically the message. And I thought, wow, I would have never, looked at it like that. But I guess some of the things that you do really does impact the little people
Mm.
and the younger children that are out there. And I had no idea that they even looked at me that way. So hopefully it's giving them a positive impact to know that if you put your mind to something, you can absolutely go out there and do it no matter what anyone thinks. And I have had a lot of people in the last couple of weeks tell me how crazy this journey is going to be and how they think it's a mistake and I shouldn't do it. And then I got a few sprinkled in there that say that it sounds amazing and you should do it. So I would love to be able to show them that, follow your dreams and follow your passion regardless of what anyone else thinks.
Yeah, you've been training for life, and this is what life is. It's not hiding away or putting a roof over your blessings, but fully embracing the rain falling on your head. And that's what you're going to experience while getting out there, especially with all of the challenges that would go with moving all of the gear that you're moving, right? But I mean, like, what do you have to lose, right? You can go out there. Like when we did it, a lot of people told us that we were crazy, but
Right?
we yearn for the road right now again, right? Like we are sitting looking at the map of the US, and my wife says to me, probably like 2 nights ago, this is Trinidad lingo, right? She's like,
Mhm.
that was a mad scene. But
Great.
it was worth it. She's gotten stronger. Both of us, we've gotten stronger. So, yeah, and it helps because our children, just like your daughter and your grandchildren, are going to be impacted by this. So, well done. Now, there has to be a physical side that gets you on this level to be able to say that you are going to do this. So, speak to me to that. Like, how do you maintain the physical side of who you are, Vanessa?
This whole year has been quite a challenge. I broke my pelvis and I had quite a long recovery with that. I ended up going into a pretty good depression. I don't know if you call it good depression, but pretty bad depression actually.
Mm.
And ended up having to get on some antidepressant medicines to kind of get me out of that little funk and bring myself back. I was not allowed to ride motorcycles, race motorcycles. It was difficult to even walk or stand or anything. So having everything taken away from me all at one time was very, very difficult. And I ended up in that depression losing a lot of weight. And after I got out of the depression, I gained all that weight and then some back. And so recently I said, if I'm going to take this journey, I really need to get myself physically back into that shape. And so for me, it's more of having that athlete mentality. As an athlete in previous situations, whether it was fitness competitions or racing motorcycles, and being serious about that, I've always taken things up a notch with my physical fitness and also with my nutrition. So knowing that I'm going to be on the road and it's going to be a little bit more challenging to, have that nutrition side of things and even the fitness side of things, I'm planning for it. So I'm throwing my surfboard in there, my yoga mat, my road bike so that I can get my physical fitness part on track. But then I'm also looking at getting like a hot plate and some other devices that might allow me to cook on the road so I don't have to eat my meals out and I can stay in the best athlete shape that I possibly can.
How are you combining the physical side with the spiritual side? Is it the yoga that will keep you grounded while you're out there as well?
It really is. The yoga, meditation, gratitude, daily affirmations. So all of that, it's impacted my life in a way that I never anticipated.
No, it seems as though you came close to death and you've been walking, seeing what that could look like. How are you interacting with that conversation, or the possibility that you could die today or tomorrow?
Well, I think that's something that I pretty much have in the background of my mind. I wouldn't say like it's consciously there, but subconsciously there on a regular daily basis because of being on motorcycles. And it is such a dangerous sport. There is always that thought in the back of your head that this could be your last day. And maybe that's part of what pushes me and allows me to strive for doing what I want to do and living my best life and living it with passion is because you can not do a dangerous sport and walk out of your door and something happens and you die. So why not go out there and live it? And, of course, we're as safe as possible. We take all the safety precautions and you have riders meetings, which talks about the safety of the track. And you've got your tech inspections, which, checks your bike. And then, of course, you have all your safety gear. So we do whatever we can to be as safe as possible, but we're not allowing that fear to keep us from doing what we absolutely love. So I think that's what it does for me.
Wow. Well, Vanessa, it's a great pleasure, a grand opportunity to check in here and have a conversation with you. It is absolutely inspirational and motivational what you're doing, and the stories that are going to be told as a result of it is going to impact others. So well done, my friend. In closing, is there anything else you'd like to share with our amazing audience?
Well, I would just love for everybody to follow my journey, not only my follow me kind of on social media, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, all of that, but follow my journey, like follow me across the country. I'm going to be posting about it, every aspect of it. So the ups and the downs, a lot of times you see on social media, people only post about the good stuff, but I want to show what real life is all about and what the journey is all about. And I think a lot of people that I've talked to would be really interested in that. So follow my journey and hopefully it'll inspire somebody else to follow their path and their journey as well.
I'm sure it will. Vanessa Jackson, again, a pleasure I treasure. Thank you for being on What is Inspired by 12-Minute Convos with Angel Jones. This podcast is produced by Pod Edits. Visit podedits.com for professional podcast publishing.